All right, the National Rescue Dog Day on May 20th brings with it a promise of love, friendship, and kindness. Each year, millions of animals, specifically dogs, are abandoned by their owners and end up on the streets. So many of these animals are used to a sheltered life, and this in turn makes it difficult for them to fend for themselves out in the world all by themselves. Now, food sources are hard to come by. Moreover, humans and other animals also pose a threat to these abandoned animals. So animal welfare organizations step in to help by providing a shelter that's a home for them and different, amenities they would need, healthcare and all of that. And many of these organizations also encourage people to adopt the dogs so that they get a new home and to create more space for other dogs that are stray. Now, adopting or even just fostering a dog helps people and animal in the long run. So rescue a dog day. Like we do not have enough problems in Nigeria. It's not for us.
If the dog strays in the wrong place, in the wrong state, he end up in a pot.
Suya day.
You can't just stray anyhow in Nigeria. I remember when we had one Rottweiler like that. Oh, big. The neighbors, they were waiting for it to die.
Meat.
Because they eat it.
Yeah.
And they actually poisoned the dog and they asked for the meat.
You're joking.
Are you telling me?
Did you give them?
What would you do with it? If you bury it, they'll go and assume it, so there's no point. Just give it to them.
Nigeria is such an interesting place. Nothing is safe. If your chicken waka wrong, you win. If your dog goes wrong, you might not eat to be cats because of
we are too superstitious to eat cats. Yes, we are too superstitious to eat cats. I said snake. My root shock when I went to Delta State, Africa. Big snake inside one big bowl like this. Oh, they don't cut off the head. Before you know it is suya, fish pepper soup. Yeah. You would think it's fish pepper soup.
It's a texture.
Nigerians don't play. In fact, Africans actually, it's not unique to Nigeria.
Yeah, I think it's everywhere.
Africans don't play when it comes to anything. It's bush meat for them.
The Chinese.
Just once.
Rats.
You saw the video of cockroaches many years ago, right? That
yes. I've seen rats, I've seen cockroaches. There's nothing they don't eat. Yeah.
But let's rescue a dog if we can, Honestly, I love dogs. I don't know. Just that you need to really have time because dog is like another child.
Yeah.
If you don't have that time, don't bother to venture into
true.
it. All right, so who we starting with? Let's start with Uti. I think your story is already open. What did you find first?
Yeah, so my headline says Lagos airport shut temporarily, flights diverted over mangled corpse on the runway. So in the early hours of yesterday morning, a mangled body of a man was found on runway 18R of our international airports. The identity of the man, as at the time of this story, had not been ascertained, and it hadn't been established how the man ended up on the runway, whether he was knocked down by an aircraft that was taking off or an aircraft that was landing on the said runway. The airport was temporarily shut down, of course, and a flight from an Ethiopian airline flight that was coming in from Lome in Togo had to be rerouted or turned around back to Lome because it was unable to land at the time. Now, the interesting thing, or would I say the odd thing about this story is this is supposed to be a secure area, right? It's an airport and it's supposed to have a secure perimeter, it's supposed to have a fence, all of these things. This is not the first time. I mean, the story goes on to list so many infractions on airport security all the way back to the early 2000s, but the main thing for me, like I said, we're just coming off the train incident where passengers were kidnapped. Now, an airport is meant to be a highly secure area. How does a person end up on the runway? We've had incidences of cars driving across the runway, near misses when planes are trying to land or take off. So how do we really end up in these situations where an area that is supposed to be totally secure, a body ends up there? So it just speaks to larger problems of security.
I was going to ask that, have they identified the person?
No, as at the time of this story, they hadn't identified him yet.
And because it's possible that, yes, it's possible that it might have just been a staff of the that got knocked down.
Yeah,
we don't know
but like I said, it does say that the man's body was mangled, so we don't know how
knocked
bad
down by
yet.
what? By an aeroplane?
Yeah, so it's possible the force of the jet, but the point is, should you actually, should we have this kind of thing happening in what should be a highly, highly secure area? So you want to assume that if he was a staff of the airport, he understands the rules, he knows where he should or should not be.
Yeah.
So the assumption is that he most likely isn't. And of course, like I said, because we've had so many near misses and breaches of security at the airport, there's every possibility. I mean, the airport has reopened. Of course, it's since been cleared and it has reopened, but you know, the story itself is still developing.
I just want them to find out who that person was. A photo official said the cop was suddenly found on the road. How can you just suddenly find?
Exactly.
Probably someone, maybe like a mad person who strayed into the airport.
To be identified. You need to identify. Let's even know who
the mad person incident too has happened before.
Yes, exactly. So it's I won't be surprised.
All right, Manny, your story.
The Lagos Waste Management Authority, LAWMA, has renewed its offensive against environmental abuses, resulting in the arrest of over 65 persons at various locations across the state. The Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Abraham Odumboni, disclosed this during a chat in his office at Ijora, adding that the renewed offensive would spare no offender, as tough times await environmental offenders for willfully abusing the environment. He noted that for too long, LAWMA had pleaded with the public to shun deliberate acts that deface the cityscape, but with very poor cooperation from a clear majority. According to him, LAWMA is not a toothless bulldog. For too long, we have pleaded, but now is the time to act. The new offensive is on autopilot and would spare no violator. Many people have been picked up at different locations caught in the act and will be prosecuted as a deterrent to other adamant persons. So I like this. Some years ago, Lagos was very clean. I think when we had a different governor, there was a time Lagos used to be clean, and now you just see that it's getting out of hand. There's dirt everywhere.
It's going back.
It's going back to them, you know, very dirty days.
It used to be very dirty.
It used to be very dirty, then it became very clean, and now it's going back to being very dirty. And it just reminded me of this thing that we had, these environmental sanitations that we used to practice in Nigeria every Saturday. And I think every last Saturday of the month, it was mandatory for everybody.
But do you think that was effective though?
I think
no,
so.
I don't think so.
So
a lot of people said they'll just wait what is the level of everybody gets.
So I don't think the problem stems from environmental sanitation. I think what happened was, so you're right, it was dirty, then it was clean. And you're also right in terms of it was a different administration where the problem started.
Yes.
Where the process was changed, smaller bins were put out for people. So the process that was in place before, where LAWMA used to pick up from certain spots, and all of those things were sort of, I don't want to say messed up, but yes, it was changed, and the change was inappropriate, right, for the task at hand. So I hope that they're able to fix those issues, because people had already found their rhythm in terms of, you know, at one point in Nigeria, people just used to throw rubbish anywhere.
Yes.
If there's an empty land, you just start using it as a dumping ground.
Even on the road.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then, you know, LAWMA had this whole process that was working. And then, you know, like I said, the last administration, all of those things changed. So hopefully we find our way back.
We'll get back.
We'll hopefully find our way back. So yesterday we talked about the Okada ban. So I just wanted to give a quick follow-up, because it seemed like there was going to be like a protest, you know, from the Okada riders.
Okay.
And one of the leaders of, his name is Ilya Sukira, in a telephone interview with The Punch, said that there will be no such thing as not allowing any of their members to go on that protest. According to him, he said that he's the Seriki of Shasha in Alimosho local government area. He said that the decision that the government has taken will definitely sensitize the system. It will clean the system up, so there will be no such thing, and is urging all members of the Okada, whatever rider community, to desist from any form of protest or any form of demonstration. They are not in support of it, and so hopefully there will be some level of calm, you know, because there were some uproars yesterday, and you know, you were even wondering what concerning or job people, and you know, but this is just to give a quick follow-up on that, and we're also monitoring it to see what would happen, and hopefully things might change.
My question is always, then what for these Okada riders? Now they have this ban on. After this, what next for them? You can't shut something down without opening something else.
Yeah.
But this is Nigeria. That's what we do.
Yeah,
so
but
we need. But that's what we said yesterday. You have to find certain kinds of alternatives for them.
I mean, you're talking about just the Okada riders. The people who have a real transportation need
issue
that the Okadas are fixing.
Sure.
Have you found a solution?
What's the solution?
You know, they just launched lag ride. What they call that thing?
Yeah, but I mean, lag ride again, single occupancy travel. All that's not the solution.
What's that? Is that on Okadas or what?
No, lag ride is like an Uber service hailing service for Lagos State government.
Like
so
blue cars.
So maybe they are thinking that will solve the problem. I don't think so.
How many cars are you going to put on the road? And
how many people can afford it?
How many people can afford it? No matter how cheap you make it.
So that will worsen the traffic situation, because that now in itself is another problem, because we have a gridlock
issue. We really need to take more cars off the road and find alternative solutions.
Okay, so on that note, we'll take a break. We want to discuss the economy. Stay with us. We'll be right back.